Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ruth Motau, born in Meadowlands, Soweto, and I'm a photographer. Why photography? Because I'm a storyteller. I photograph my surroundings. Whatever you see, it's around my life, my surrounding, my community, my everyday life. The photograph in question, Polly Motene and Robert Phoswayo, was photographed in 1997 in Meadowlands, also in my community. When I worked for the Weekly Mail, I didn't like to photograph violence. I didn't like to photograph, frontline, whether it's be Togoza or Soweto or whatever. And I couldn't say no sometimes to, my boss, by then who, I think when I started was Kevin Carter. And I said, I can't do this. I can't do violence. I can't do dead bodies, I can't photograph, people lying on the floor, and I cannot do it. But I came with a strategy saying, I can bring or do more work that is more positive. I can do features that, that says, this is us, even though we have violence, we have killings, we have all these things, but this is our ordinary people in the township. Most people knew that, oh no, Ruth is a journalist, because she walks around with a camera. And then Polly is my neighbor. Polly came to me and say, hey, but you know what, I'm getting married. I mean, this is the first gay wedding in Soweto in 1997. And I was excited. And then I presented the story in the newsroom. That's my story. And I went and I did the story. And to 2024, it's still one of the biggest and one of the best works that I've done in my community. I think it's easier to photograph people that invite you or people that you know. And more especially if people ask you to come, invite you in their space. They become free. They don't, they become themselves. Let's say I went to Polly's wedding, uninvited, and then I started to point my camera, and then they were going to look that way. So I think it's important to get permission. It's important for me to ask whoever I'm photographing that I need to photograph them. But if it's news, it's a different story. News, it happens, but if it's something intimate or something that I want to do a story, I ask for permission. And if somebody says no, I respect that. Polly is a person that I grew up with. He's younger than me. And they were running around, used to me. And then they asked me to come and photograph. For them, they were just not even aware. I've got images where the wedding was very chaotic, by the way. One of the most disorganized weddings ever. You can read the story. If you go to the Mail and Guard Weekly Mail, you can find it, Polly Motene and Robert Phoswayo. One of the brilliant stories, disorganized to the core. But they were just there. They are, for them, it was a celebration. They didn't even care that they asked the priest. And by the way, when we went to church, and the priest wasn't there. Very chaotic, because Polly forgot to confirm with the priest So I think if I didn't walk around with a camera and photographing my community and the stories that really were or are close to me, I wouldn't have got the opportunity to photograph something like that. This is iconic, you know. I mean, for me, it's one of the best. It's memorable, probably one that will go into the history books.